How to plan a photo of the June 10th, 2021 annular solar eclipse. Hello PHOTOPILLER, Rafael, the bar here. An annual solar eclipse is a stunning phenomenon. The moon travels between the sun and earth, covering the sun's disk, leaving a ring of fire around it. On top of that, on June 10th, depending on where you are on earth, you'll be able to photograph the eclipse right after sunrise, when it's low in the sky. So it's the perfect opportunity to photograph it aligning with an interesting subject. Like for example in this photo by Kertu, or like in this other photo by Josh Cripps, which awarded him with the Photopill of the Year in 2019 and a cash prize of $3,000. Not bad. Well, long story short, if you wish to photograph the annual solar eclipse, the first thing you need to do is to figure out where on earth the eclipse will be visible. To plan the eclipse, go to PhotoPills, tap on Planner, tap on the Map Settings button here, and then tap on Eclipse. And here you have a calendar with all the dates all the solar and lunar eclipse happen. So find the eclipse you wish to plan, in this case the June 10th, 2021 annual solar eclipse, and tap on it to select it and go back to the map. Cool! Notice that the date in the time bar has been set to June 10th, 2021, the date of the eclipse. Now zoom out to see where the eclipse will be visible on Earth. If you live in an area that falls within these yellow lines you see on the map, in Europe, in East Canada, East USA, or in Asia, you'll be able to photograph the partial phase of the eclipse, which is super cool to photograph too. As you probably know, the eclipse goes through 5 phases or 5 stages. When the partial eclipse begins is when the moon starts going over the sun. When totality begins is when the whole moon is on the sun's disk. It's when the ring of fire appears. Then we have when the eclipse is maximum or greatest, and then we have when totality ends and when the partial eclipse ends, when the eclipse ends. Well, if you wish to photograph totality, if you wish to photograph the ring of fire, then you need to be what's called the path of totality. You need to be in this dark band you see here on the map. This is the path of totality. That goes over parts of Canada, also Greenland and Russia. So you need to be inside this band. Here, let's place the red pin here. Cool. Okay, now that you know where the eclipse is visible, let's figure out for a given location the exact time each phase of the eclipse occurs. Let's do it. Swipe the top panel to the left until you get to the eclipse panel. Here we have it, this one. And as you see on the panel, you have all the times each phase of the eclipse occurs for the red pin position. If you do a long press on one of the faces on top panel, you'll set the time in the time bar. So on the map, you'll be able to see where that particular phase occurs. So on the map, this kind of gray thin azimuth line is telling you where that particular phase of the eclipse occurs. It's telling you the position of the sun. And as you see, it's pretty close to the sunrise direction, the thicker line you see next to it. So for this particular location, for the red pin position, the eclipse will occur right after sunrise. The more east you go, the lower in the sky the eclipse will occur. Therefore, if you wish to align the eclipse with an interesting subject, go east. Another thing, if you swipe the time bar, you can see how the eclipse evolves in the top panel, on the top panel, and also on the map. This way you know where the eclipse is happening at all time. And if you go at the red pin position, you can use the AR option here, tap on the AR button, and visualize the position of the eclipse in the sky. Here we have it. Here we have the horizon, so this is the sun and the moon path, and here we have the eclipse. It's a great way, using the AR views, it's a great way to visualize where the eclipse is going to happen right in the sky when you're on the spot. Use them because they are very, very useful. Well, now we have everything we need to plan our annual solar eclipse shot, so let's do it. Remember, if you wish to photograph the ring of fire, the phase of totality, you need to be in a location within the path of totality, this black band you see on the map. In my case, I'm gonna plan a cool photo of the partial phase of the eclipse, because I've just realized that the partial phase of the eclipse is visible in New York. And I feel like planning the eclipse with the Empire State Building, which is gonna be so cool. According to Wikipedia, the top roof of the Empire State Building has a height of 381 meters. So let's plan a photo of the eclipse aligned with the top roof of the Empire State Building. Something like this image by Mike Carroll, but with the eclipse aligned with the top roof. Okay, let's do it, and let me do it fast. You'll see how easy it is. So zoom on New York, zoom on Manhattan, and do a long press on the other side of the Hudson River to place the red pin there. On the top panel, do a long press on the phase the eclipse is maximum to set the time in the time bar, and also on the top panel you see the picture of the partial eclipse. So cool. Now let's find the Empire State Building. Here I have it, and zoom on it, and now swipe the panel to the right until you get to panel number 2, the black pin panel, this one. Now tap on the button on the panel and the black pin will appear on the map, and place it on the Empire State Building, right where you want the eclipse to be. As I said, in this case I want the eclipse to be aligned with the roof of the Empire State Building. Now zoom out a bit so we can see the red pin position. Now move the red pin to a location where the sun is rising next to the Empire State Building. For example, I need to go south. Let's place it here, for example. Yep, from this location, well, the sun is rising right next to the Empire State Building, which is what I want. I want the sun to be rising and going over the Empire State Building. Now swipe the time bar, and to do it, you can do a long press on the time bar to move time more slowly, more precisely, and swipe it until you get on the top panel the sun height to be 381 meters, which is the height of the top roof. Here I have it, 381 meters. You have it on the top panel. So now I have the center of the sun at the same height of the top roof. But as you see, the sun is not aligned with the red pins. So I need to move again the red pin to align the sun with the black pin. Let's try here. But every time you move the red pin, topography might change. So you need to check again the sun height on the top panel. You see that it's 393.7 meters. I want it to 381 meters, so change the time again. Cool. And yeah, I think it's good enough. I think it's good enough. Well, I'll change the time again to set the sun height to 81. Great. Yep, I think this is my plan. Next thing I'll do, because I've changed the time, is to check the phase of the eclipse I'm photographing. So swipe the top panel to the left until you get to the eclipse panel. And yes, this is the phase. As you see on the top panel, I am photographing the partial eclipse phase of the eclipse, which is awesome. Notice that on the top panel, you also have in brackets the size of the sun, the apparent size of the sun, 38.8 meters. Knowing the apparent size of the sun is so cool because you can compare the size of the sun with your subject. You want to also have the size of the sun on the map. Tap on the map settings button, tap on the sun layer, and tap on show sun size. Go back to the map, and now if I zoom on the sun layer, you see that the size of the sun is also visible on the map. This yellow area is showing you the size of the sun you can compare with your subject. How cool is that? At this stage, you could keep planning the shot to the very last detail. For example, you could use the depth of field or field of view tools to plan your framing, and also to plan the camera settings you need, the aperture, the focal length, where to focus, the focus distance, to get the photo you want, and also to make sure you get in focus both your subject and the eclipse. If you wish to learn how to do it, watch this video. Well, this is how you can plan your annual solar eclipse shot. In the future video, I'll show you how to photograph the eclipse step by step. Don't miss it. Also, if you don't want to wait, you want to learn how to photograph the eclipse, I recommend you to download our super detailed solar eclipse photography guide. I'm gonna leave you a link in the description of this video and also in the first comment below. Download it. And if you like this video, give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next Wednesday with another video. And remember that you have the power to imagine, plan, and shoot legendary photos. Bye bye.